Hey, bitch. It's Jamie. That's me here. Listen, I'm not talking. Not unless you giving me likes, you commenting, subscribing, sharing. Oh, okay. Well, let's get into some things because I do want us to get into a quick chat and I want us to talk about some music for the most part. I want to get into Bow Wow and his whole situation with Omarion. And I also came to y'all and told y'all that Miss Keri Hilson is dropping some new music. And she recently did a sit down interview with the Breakfast Club. And I want us to tap into a little bit of that interview where she primarily talks about the backlash that she got from, dropping a song about Beyonce. All right. Or at least dropping a song that took shots at Beyonce. All right. So definitely want to make sure that we get into that. And before I start talking, make sure that you liking up the video. All right. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, now is the time to do so. Okay. Cool. Well, let us go ahead and get into it. And the first person that I do want us to go ahead and get into is Bow Wow. All right. He got a chance to sit down over with Cam Newton. And of course, they talked about a lot of stuff. I believe the interview is over like 2 hours long. And I definitely plan on checking out the interview in its entirety for me. Okay. There was a segment where I saw that he clipped out where he talked about the different beefs that Bow Wow may have had with other people, whether it was Soldier Boy or anybody else. And he brought up Omarion specifically, which is really interesting considering the fact that they are on the Millennium Tour together. Well, Bow Wow does speak to that, and I actually want us to get into what Bow Wow had to say, and then we're going to also check out what Omarion had to say in response to that. So let's go ahead and get that up on the screen, and let's check it out, all right?
Omarion, was that a real beef?
It's complicated. It's complicated.
Still?
Yep. Yeah. Still.
What?
Yeah, it's complicated.
We can't just sit down and hash it
I
out.
don't want to talk.
He don't want to talk, or you don't?
I don't want to talk. It's nothing to talk about. Not even in a bad way. You know what I mean? It's just when you lay your hand out and you try to be the bigger person and try to rap, but you get no response, and you're just like, okay, well, we're gonna leave it right here then. You know what I mean? And let's just you do your thing. I'm gonna do my thing. We just gonna keep the peace. But it's definitely not no beef. Like we in the same buildings. Like we pass each other in arenas. We might not speak.
Yeah.
But we walk past each
I was
other.
about to say, because what type of beef are we talking about? We talking about 50 Cent, Rick Ross type of beef?
No. That's why
Drake, Kendrick type of beef?
Hell no. Because if it's on, it's on.
Quavo, Chris Brown type of beef?
Nah, because beef is if I see you at any place in time, it's on where it's on, like it's on site. That ain't what it is with us. It's just more of a, we've been through this thing for so long that where we at, he's 40. Like I'm 38. Like where we at now, like not like we grown, and it's just like we don't have to do that now. We got kids, we got our own lives. Where I'm going in my career is where I'm going, where you going. It's where you going. I wish you nothing but the best. And for me, the best revenge sometimes is time. You ain't even got to do much. That's why I said in the tweet, we don't have to talk. You know what I mean? It's just time for us to hit the stage and we'll leave it on the stage. We'll let the fans decide what it's gonna be.
This was an interesting one for me. Eric Benet.
All right. So you guys just heard what Bow Wow had to say. Child, that man said, and I've never heard it said like that. The best revenge is time. Maybe that's true. The best because they say the best revenge is no revenge. So then I think that does equate to time. Give things time, whatever you felt you were going to be vindicated about, or a person being shown up as a certain way or whatever, like whatever it is you need to have revealed will reveal itself in time. I don't know if it's necessarily revealed itself in time because I can't even recall what the real beef was between Omarion and not Soldier Boy, but Bow Wow. And I'm trying to recall. So give me a second and let me see if I can recall exactly what the real beef was between these guys. All right, y'all. So I kind of went and uncovered a few things. All right. I don't know if this is all of the beef or the reasoning behind the beef between Omarion and Bow Wow. But what I did uncover was that it was around the time that Bow Wow and April Jones, the mother of his two kids, broke up with each other. All right. There was a post that was made over on the Shade Room. And on that post, Omarion says, "This is the only public statement I will make about a private matter. After this, I will not speak on or respond to any questions or comments on the matter. I thank everyone in advance for respecting my wishes to keep my family life private. The beautiful and talented mother of my children, for whom I hold the highest regard and respect for, April Jones, and I have decided to end our relationship. We continue to love and support one another and still share a common goal to remain friends while being great parents to our children. Sincerely, O." Well, Bow Wow gets underneath the post and he says, "Let's go knock some bitches, bro. You single now. So many IG and AOD dancers out here waiting on you, bro. We throwing you a little. I just became single party. You hosting and my bro Nick Young DJing. I'm working the door, right? So a lot of people feel like this was disrespectful, as well as Omarion himself. So let us check out this clip of what Omarion had to say. And I'm not going to play it because it's the Breakfast Club and you know they could be a little shaky. So let's just get into this quick audio.
When Bow Wow did that, did you text him like, Bow, chill out? Because if we get back together, she's not going to let you at the wedding.
Nah, man, nah, I didn't. I thought that was like kind of like, I thought it was kind of whack.
Put me in a bad position.
No, it wasn't even that. It just was like, he didn't really have no regard or no respect for the position that I was in. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, whatever I was going through, you feel me? You supposed to support that. You feel me? You're not supposed to be like,
celebrating.
Party time.
come on, my G. You know
I'm
what I'm
single.
saying?
Yes, single.
I'm glad you
myself.
said that, because I thought it was whack too.
Yeah, nah. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he might have looked at it differently. He might have looked at it to the fact that, damn, Omarion might be effed up. Let's
Call
just go out
me.
and party.
Text me.
Yeah,
Don't put that on the
He should
gram.
have called the party. He definitely should have called and checked on you. But
Come on, bro.
I don't think it was.
I thought it was whack too. And then your girl probably was like, "Oh, what you told Bow Wow? Y'all about to go have fun?"
Yeah, it was probably a remark or something like that. But I'm just saying, like, look at the position you put me in.
The top ways black.
All right. So that is what ended up happening. That is what Omarion said, like back in the day, I suppose, as to what kind of started the issue. And there's no telling what else may have transpired between them since that time, because that was like back in 2017. Well, he made the announcement in 2016 that he and April were no longer together. That's when Bow Wow made that comment. By 2017, he was asked about it. Those were his thoughts about it at that time. And which is interesting because I feel like they've been on the Millennium Tour with each other since then. So I think that there may have been some other things that I may not have uncovered at this time as to why these guys were up here, beefing. Okay. Omarion did respond to this interview that Bow Wow had over with Cam, and this is what Omarion had to say. He says, over the years, I've shared space, history, and energy with many in this industry, Bow Wow being one of them. Inviting him into the Millennium Tour franchise was an extension of brotherhood and respect. It came from a place of love, legacy, and shared memories. To my knowledge, there is no beef, no unresolved issues, unless there is one, question mark. He says, no drama. I'm in a season where I honor what's real, what's reciprocal, and what uplifts the spirit. All right. We may cross paths and not exchange words, and that's okay. I wish him well on his journey. I move forward with love, clarity, and truth. Thank you to everyone who came out to the Millennium Tour and made it a great success, excitement, and more great news to come. See you soon. All right. So that is what Omarion had to say about the matter at hand. And can I say this real quick? I hear what Omarion is saying, and I appreciate, the high road or whatever he's saying. That, one thing he mentioned in his statement was, I move forward with the love, clarity, and truth. To me, that made me feel as though he feels like Bow Wow wasn't keeping it honest or something. But I feel like those are his honest feelings, and it may still be some things that are resolved, that's unresolved. Just because you have moved on from a situation doesn't necessarily mean that other person has, because y'all haven't had a conversation. But it appears that you're okay with leaving it where it is or whatever. It's a complicated thing. Okay, can I say this too? It's just real interesting that Omarion has always, or not always, but in coming years, after being with April and stuff, he's shown up to be a person that was like unbothered and all of that. And I just feel like the persona we get from Omarion isn't who he really is. I feel like April was trying to give us heads up and warn us about how Omarion shows up and how the whole unbothered thing is really like a facade. And I feel like over time we saw that. Okay, the man just yelled and cussed at the folks at the Scream tour and told them to get the fuck up. Girl, like y'all had been dragging Omarion. Y'all had been dragging Omarion by his breast all tour, and it's just been too much. Y'all made that man go put a shirt on. But Omarion, I don't know. I'm like, if everybody's having an issue with that one person, then chances are you are the issue. You are the problem. Now, I'm not excusing Bow Wow's actions. Maybe he could have been a bit more considerate with everything that Omarion was going through, and that just wasn't the right time to say that, because just because people have guys, a guy have broken up with a girl or vice versa, doesn't mean that the guy ain't going through it too. He might be going through. He might be a little down. Maybe she was the one that ended it with him. Maybe he's sad about it. It's a change for his kids and stuff. And Bow Wow may not have just read the room. So not saying that he was right in that. I think he should have acknowledged some wrong. But I don't know. It's just something about it. The members of B2K have had an issue with you. Here we are with Omarion having an issue with you. The way that Mario hold the hell out of Omarion on that Versus tour. And I'll be honest. Okay, on the Versus show, I have gone back likely at least twice a year since it's happened. I'm not gonna hold you. And I will sit and watch the Versus, okay? Because it was just that good. Okay? It was just that good. Like, Mario hold the hell out of Omarion. And I'm like, oh, it's a lot of energy here. Like, is that for a reason? Maybe. Okay. Short answer for me is just that I don't think he's who he represents, at times. But hey, that's okay. At some point, I'm sure these guys will have a conversation, but to be on a whole tour with each other and not interact is kind of crazy. But I would respect the non-interaction over finding out that you guys was fighting or got into it or some stuff backstage. Like, hey, if it's best for y'all to not talk but still be able to get the money, hell, some part of me feels like let this be a lesson to some folks that can't stand each other but still need to get to the money when they go on tour. So do what you need to do. Okay? Because it's bigger than y'all's and bigger than your egos, bigger than your attitudes. Okay? This is for the fans. All right? And y'all need them coins to continue to take care of the family. All right? But that's that on those guys. So good luck. Leave your thoughts and comments down below when it comes to Bow Wow, their whole situation with Omarion. And if y'all got additional details, go ahead and fill us in the comments. Okay? Fill in the blanks for the people. In the meantime, in between time, I'd like to go ahead and move on to my girl, Keri Hilson. Y'all know I love me some Keri Hilson. I will say I'm so excited for her. She is going to be dropping a new album. I believe it drops next week. I think it's on the 18th of April. And I'm just excited for her. Like she has tried to come back and she stalled and changed her mind and stuff. She went into acting. So for her to give us some tangible stuff over on the Instagram to let us know for sure that she is indeed coming back. She dropped a new single called Bay. And now she's doing an interview over on the Breakfast Club where she's getting into where she's been, what she's been up to, what her history was with the music. I'm excited for her because a lot of the people that are coming up that's going to start liking her music similar to Missy Elliott, they don't know that these people are not new artists, honey. They're not new to this. They true to this, okay? Just a little piece, all right? And I'm thinking about a time when Missy Elliott, I think she ended up doing the Super Bowl, or either she was brought out. Was she brought out during Lady Gaga's Super Bowl performance? I can't remember. It was somebody's Super Bowl performance. And I think they may have brought Missy Elliott out, don't quote me, or either she hosted it. It was one or the other. But whatever it was, she started getting so many people started talking about her, like, oh my God, her music's so good, this and that. And people had to be on Twitter letting them know, like, yo, this lady is not new. She's been out here for a long time. She was just always ahead of the game when it came to music and stuff. And I feel like that may be the same thing with Keri, with some people getting, her music. It's a lot of people that, were kids then. Now they adults, they grown, got their own kids, whatever the case is, and they may not fully be familiar with Keri. Potentially, maybe, just a little piece, maybe. And no, my girl been around. She been around and now she's back, and I'm excited for her. And I want us to check out this audio where she goes into talking about, Beyonce and the whole backlash of it all, and being kind of forced to do things she didn't really want to do when it came to the industry, all right, in order to advance her own career. So let us go ahead and pop that on up, and yeah, let's get into it.
I think that's the one problem with being an artist, is that nobody believes that y'all are real people. And so when you are going through real things, nobody will take that into consideration. It's more entertaining for them to be like, the Beehive ran her out of town. Right,
that's way more entertaining. But also because I think when you're rich, like, people are like, they don't empathize with you.
That's right.
They can know you're human, but they don't care, because they're like, whatever, she's rich, she'll be fine. It's like, damn, I ain't got no heart. I can't go through love and heartbreak and, like,
I think people don't realize how much the noise that they throw it like gets to you, or not even if it doesn't break you, but like you see it, you can't not see it.
Right. Especially now. Yeah.
And
she was trolled and jumped before it was a thing. Think about it.
Yeah, I was going to say
I
because
wasn't jumped.
well, Beehive people get.
I was never jumped. No one ever put their hands on me. No one ever.
No, not in real life.
I'm like, what are you
Not
talking-
in real life.
I'm like, huh?
Carrie, like, baby, I'm peaceful. Don't play with me though. Okay, it's Miss Carrie, baby.
Digitally.
Oh,
digitally jumped.
yeah, no, digitally.
I was like,
He talking about the Beehive swarming.
I was never
Hold
jumped.
on.
Nobody ever put their hand on me.
Hold on.
I don't know where you got that rumor from, but that didn't happen.
Wait,
Let's kill that right now.
Decatur, right? Where you from?
Atlanta.
Atlanta. Yeah, okay, it came out real quick. Hold up. No, but I think he's talking about the Beehive, just
Yes.
all of the comments
Yes.
and stuff from the song leak and all that stuff. And
Yeah.
now today, at this point, are you looking like when you look back at that? Because and people will bring it up, so I'm sure you're kind of preparing yourself for that. How do you not even explain it, but like how do you look back on that? What are your comments on it now, so far removed from it?
It's a regret. It's a regret, but not in the way that people would think, because that's a song that I actually didn't write. Those are not my words. I was on tour. Polo wanted me to do a remix to Turning Me On. He had produced the record, and I wasn't, because I was on tour with Lil Wayne. I wasn't able to like lay anything down. He had been on me for a couple of weeks about we need to do a remix. Okay, so I take off. It wasn't happening quick enough for him. I take off, we fly in, and he had another writer in our camp at the time. He had her write this, so he played it for me like this is the remix, because I'm thinking I'm coming in to go write a remix to Turning Me On. Like the whole time I had been writing concepts like, what would I say? How do I even remix this? Like, what do I want to? So I had lines and I had, things that I would have said, but I come into the studio and he plays me this verse, and I'm like, automatically, I'm like, I'm not saying that. That was my position, and that.
But you knew it was shade when you heard it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could, but I didn't know really who it was about, but. I mean, one could guess, and it just was. I'm an athlete, but I'm a finesse player. I'm not a nasty player. I'm not a dirty player. I don't even look at things like that. I'm competitive I'm also a swimmer, so that's a self sport. That's like an inside game, and that's how I played every sport that I played. So I never found it, but we disagree there, Polo and I, because he believes in kind of the shock jock mentality. He believes in kind of playing dirty to a degree, and I don't.
Yeah, it's not rap.
So exactly. So I tried to fight him on it, and I began writing my own. That's what I did with my time there. But I want to be careful with the word I use. It was quite forceful. You know what I mean?
In an executive artist way?
Yeah, in an executive artist way only. Involving others and kind of threatening my career in a sense, in a real sense. Like, you're not coming, because my album wasn't out yet. So it was like, you're not coming out if you don't do this. And the mistake that I made was not continuing to fight, but I was in tears. I was crying. I was adamant that I did not want to do that.
And for people that don't know, you were signed to Polo.
I was signed to Polo and Timbaland.
Correct.
Yep, in a joint venture at Interscope Records.
Yep.
And I was young. I was super young. I felt I had no power. I felt I had no choice. But I did record my version, which had nothing like that in it. It was on subject. The song is about men. And I think days after? He remembers more because he was there.
Wow.
He remembers more. Was it days after when it leaked? It leaked like days after I did it, but he promised me that wouldn't happen, so it leaked. And that was that. And I protected him. I protected the girl that wrote it, who went on to become famous. I protected everyone in the story, so I had to eat that. And I am still eating it to this day, because I'm getting asked about that 15, however many years, 16, 17 years later. It's like I've worn the scarlet letter, really.
Have you ever?
I'm sorry, but when you answer it once, like
It's
give
done.
people an actual answer, I think that makes it go.
They can't ask again.
I was gonna say I think this is the first time I've heard this like story.
I have before, but yeah,
Oh, okay.
maybe you guys is a beautiful platform,
Yeah.
a big one, and maybe hopefully this is the last time I need to talk about that. But that is definitely a regret of not fighting even stronger. But again, when your career is on the line and they make it that be the way that you perceive the situation, not perceive, but it was pretty clear. But when you're that young, you're just kind of like, fuck.
Maybe they know better than me.
Right.
I have
like,
to, yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I never felt like they were right. But because my authenticity said the entire time, this can't be the only way to become, like, I was already doing well.
Yeah.
And in my eyes, although it gained the popularity and the recognition, the song, okay, we had a lot of spins, but from that moment on, I was like, this ain't even my path anymore. Now I gotta ride out.
What did Timbaland say?
I think he just went because they were partners. I think he just went along, but I don't remember that we involved him or that he was involved at all because he hadn't produced that record. But I wonder now. I would love to ask him, like, what did you think about that? What I do know is he went on to work with B and J,
So did Polo
and tour with him, and so did Polo. And I'm sitting there like, wow. But again, I was trying to keep peace. And also not wanting to put my career, they were still my bosses. I didn't want to put my career further into detriment. So I just didn't want to step in the shit anymore though. So I didn't want to hold no magazine with her on I just froze. I just was like shook. So whenever anybody brought it up, probably the last time we were here, like, please don't bring up Beyonce. It was probably that kind of environment because I was shook. I was scared. I was not of her. Like, I love her. I think she's incredible. She's one of the greatest artists of all time. And I'm a fan, like, have always been. That's never been in question for me. But now it's a name I can't say. It's a magazine I can't hold. It's a conversation I don't want to have publicly just because I don't want to piss anybody off. I don't want to make things even more weird than they already were. I just wanted it to go away. I wanted it to go away. I wanted it off the scarlet letter, you know what I mean? I wanted to clean myself up and just have the career that I wanted to have, but I didn't know how to do that. I didn't know cleaning it up would mean that. It just felt like a messier situation.
I think people understand the industry now. So they understand.
All right. So you guys just heard what Miss Keri Hilson had to say. She felt like she was backed into a corner and kind of forced to write, or at least do a verse, taking shots at Beyonce in this verse. And she didn't think that it was going to be released. I don't know why, but ended up being released shortly thereafter. I remember hearing rumors about that she was taking shots at Beyonce on that track. And I used to be like, Keri, why would she do that? Like, that's Beyonce. Like, who would take shots at Beyonce? I never thought that was true. And then the more I heard it for like years to come, even after that, I was like, dang, maybe she really did. And I feel like that may have contributed to her sitting down, falling back from the industry, as well as her breakup. I think with Serge Ibaka, whatever his name was, I feel like around the time she broke up with him, maybe I think it was around the time, I feel like that's when she like really fell back from music. So I don't know. Miss Keri may have just had a lot of things going on mentally with her. Maybe it was the breakup. Maybe it was the Beyonce record, just the industry as a whole of how she may have viewed it, how she viewed her career in comparison to what was really happening behind the scenes. I'm glad to see that she's out, but I kind of hope that she's out independently. I think it's always good to kind of have, I'm not going to say it's always good to have a label, but I think it's good if she does have a label behind her. Maybe just a little bit to put up some of the money that she may not want to put up. Or, honestly, at this point, I think that would be the only thing that would really be needed for is to put up money for certain things. But as far as to get her access and publicity to certain platforms, I don't think that she necessarily needs them for that, right? But maybe some of the money, if that, and maybe she don't need that at all. What I love about the music industry is that it has become more independent friendly, in my opinion. I love to see people that are independent and blow up. Now, some people may attach themselves to a label, and I think that's cool, but I will have a strategy. Because when you hear labels, right, it sounds good, but a lot of times what I hear is loans, right? I hear loans. What I hear is when you get an advance, oh yeah, he got an advance of $2 million. Like, yeah, but you're gonna have to spend that back. Like, you have to pay that back. Okay, and they're giving you this amount of money in trust and hopes that they're gonna make that back off of you. So that's what I love about the music industry, is that it's now independent and you don't have to. You can reach your audience directly, whether you become a content creator of some fashion, whether you out here grinding, hustling on your own, and just making a name, a buzz for yourself, getting access to these different radio stations and platforms on your own. Like, I love that you don't necessarily need a label, in my personal, to get out here and get it. To me, right? And I wish that the acting world had it like that as well, to where you don't necessarily need an agent. Okay. But they love to gatekeep, child. So that's just what it is. And I would advise people, shoot, if you had an agent, I know with me, I don't want no agent. They got a lot of people on their own roster. Okay, Tasha Mack, me please. Have a very limited few people on your list so you can really work for me, please. And thank you. I saw a post that I did not go back to. I think I saved it. And I'm going on a tangent, so just hang in there with me. But there was an NFL player that I believe said that he went into the draft without an agent because he felt like they take advantage of you. And I said, well, that's very interesting. I've never heard of that, where a NFL player would enter the draft. I think it could have been NFL or NBA, not sure, but he entered the draft without an agent. And I'm like, I'm gonna come back to that. All right. I was in the middle of something and I saw it. I said, let me say that I ain't got time now, but I'm gonna come back to that because I've never heard of that before. But if you're able to do it, congrats to you. Okay, some of them do take advantage. Not all, but some of them do take advantage of you, for sure. And then you have some that have your back. All right. So if you didn't make your decision on who you wanted to have, who you felt safe with at that time, fine. Because you got yourself this far, you, your family, whoever your people were, you made a name out of yourself before the damn agent comes along, and they get to come along and just ride on your coattail and make money off your name and this and that. Like, no. So I don't really fault people who turn their parents or their siblings or whoever into their agents, because, I do support when it's like, hey, they was with me when I had SHI. You know what I'm saying? Maybe just a little piece, okay? And I feel like if you're going to bring somebody else new in to replace them, maybe start off as a coach situation, if possible, because everybody's situation is different. But anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. But all in all, shout out to Keri Hilson. I appreciate her being able to speak her truth in this moment. I'm going to go back and watch her interview as well with The Breakfast Club. And because I just love me some Keri. And I'm so excited about this album. I think it's going to be good. I was going to say I really hope it's good, but I think that it's going to be good, period. And what I want to know is who the hell was in the studio that wrote the song, because she said that this person went on to be famous. She felt like she was protecting the woman that actually wrote this, and this person went on to become famous. And at this time now, I want some sleuths. I need y'all to get down. I need y'all to do y'all research and find out who is the woman that has gone famous since that track was written. I feel like it ain't that damn many of them. For real, for real. But who was it? Why did K Michelle come to my head for some reason? I'm not saying K Michelle would ever diss Beyonce, but I'm just like, okay, who else? Who else has since? I feel like K Michelle was she already famous at that time? I don't know, but it sounds like whoever helped write this was not initially famous, or maybe was slowly getting a name for themselves, and then they went on to become famous. But they also had to have been a writer as well. So everybody that sings does not write. All right. So I wonder, and it was a woman. This is interesting. Oh, and I need to know. And so I also feel like, was this woman in Atlanta? Girl, y'all let me know who y'all think it was down in the comments that Miss Keri Hilson was talking about. And I do understand her feeling pressured and feeling like, damn, I got to do this, even though she didn't want to do it. If you've worked so hard on your album and you're young and you're being put in a position and these people are still in charge of you, I could see her giving in and just being like, all right, F it. You know what I'm saying? Let me just go and do it move on. I think she knows in her heart that it was something she should not have done, but out of fear, I think that's what drove her. Okay, y'all know America runs off fear, honey. But anywho, that's all I have. I just wanted to come and have a little quick little musical chat with y'all, talk about Bow Wow and this Omarion situation. I also wanted to get in Keri Hilson and, the Beyonce of it all. And if there is anything that happens to come from the interviews that I watch, I'll come back and we'll chat about it over here on the channel. All right. But that's all I got for you guys. I thank you all so much for being here. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe. Make sure you're liking up the video. I'm Jami, that's me. You can catch me on social media at JamiThatsMe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
Tell him I preach to the choir. Stand with my feet to the fire. Give all the glory to God. Stand in the midst of these haters, I'm silent, nobody can stop me. Just gotta check in my notification, them numbers hit like it's a proxy. Cashed out at the ATM, and the ATL, they done made a gym. I've been kicking doors like the ATF, got them trying to clone me like Agent Smith. Game time, I invaded gym, high elevated, I can face the rim. Putting shots up, I got laser focus, about to take it over, I'm Invader Zim. On a trip to Florida like it's A&M. Who that nigga, man, they say I'm him. Spit the truth, never wasting film, I can fill a pool with